When the person you've entrusted with everything silently watches while someone else humiliates you. The wound runs deeper than any argument or betrayal you could have imagined. That night in Zurich, it wasn't just embarrassment. It was a fracture, the kind of fracture that travels straight to your soul, leaving nothing untouched. We were seated at Le Fontaine, an elegant restaurant perched in the heart of the city, where chandeliers scattered light like stars over polished oak floors. Soft music from a grand piano floated across the dining room. Normally it would feel inviting. That evening, it felt like a gilded prison. Across from me was my wife Celine. Her hair, dark as midnight, spilled effortlessly over one shoulder. Her crimson gown clung to her figure, every movement a study in grace. Yet beneath that flawless surface, her eyes were distant, unreadable. She'd been like this for months. Late nights at her firm, hush phone conversations, sudden business trips with no explanation. I'd noticed, of course, but had buried my suspicions under hope. A hope that maybe this dinner could reconnect us, strip away the invisible wall that had come between us. Then he appeared. A man, tall, commanding, with the arrogance of someone accustomed to possession, strode toward our table like he owned the world. His tailored suit suggested wealth, influence, and confidence, yet his smile was brazen, smug. "Celine," he said, ignoring me completely. A flicker of recognition, and something darker, crossed her face. "Nolan," she murmured, almost in fear. I'd never heard the name before, but I didn't need to. The way he looked at her, the way she allowed her hand to hover near his, told me everything. Boldly, he reached across the table, curling her fingers around his own. "Why waste your evening with him?" he taunted, nodding at me. "When you could be dancing with someone who knows how to treat a woman." Silence descended. Conversations paused. Every eye in the restaurant fixed on us. Celine's body froze, her grip gentle but hesitant. I rose deliberately, the chair scraping the floor with purpose. "Release her hand." "Now," I said evenly. Amusement danced across his face. "And if I don't?" he mocked. The world narrowed to the sound that followed. The sharp, undeniable snap of metacarpals under pressure. Nolan fell backward, writhing in pain, his face pale and twisted. Celine gasped, shock rippling through her. "Cade, what?" But I didn't answer. I crouched, voice low measured. "This is just the beginning. You misjudged me." He stared, a mix of fear and disbelief overtaking his arrogance. I stood, glancing at Celine. She hesitated, torn between guilt and fear, but followed. The quiet ride home was heavy, suffocating. Inside the house, I didn't waste words. "Tell me everything," I said, facing her. Her voice trembled. I don't know where to start." I cut through her hesitation. "Start with the truth. Who is he? How long?" Tears welled as she confessed. 6 months. Half a year of lies, deception, hidden meetings. I listened, now more than angry. "And tonight?" I pressed. "Was this some planned display?" She whimpered. "I didn't know he'd be there. I swear." But her words were empty. I had seen the exchange, the anticipation. No more lies. By morning, Zurich's skyline glittered in the sunrise. A city that had watched my humiliation transform into resolve. Revenge wasn't born of spite. It was justice, calculated and deliberate. I began with Nolan. Within 2 days, his life, meticulously curated to project power and sophistication, unraveled. His financial empire, hidden debts, fabricated assets, all exposed. With the aid of a relentless investigative journalist, Nolan's public persona collapsed in front of Switzerland's elite during the annual Zurich Gala. Headlines screamed his disgrace. Fraudulent schemes, frozen accounts, reputations shattered. Meanwhile, I gathered everything about Celine: messages, emails, logs, proof of the life she'd built in betrayal. When the divorce papers landed in front of her, her eyes were wide, helpless. "You don't need to ruin me," she whispered. I met her gaze, icy and unyielding. "I didn't. You ruined us." Time passed. Isolation followed. Friends vanished. Family remained silent, unwilling to face the truth. Nolan disappeared into obscurity, rumors placing him far from the city, evading creditors and shame. My own world, in contrast, thrived. Business ventures flourished, and the quiet of my home became a balm. And then, unexpectedly, light returned. At a cultural gala months later, I met Isla Duval, a historian from Vienna, brilliant and sincere, untouched by wealth or pretense. We talked for hours, laughter slowly erasing the shadows of the past. Alone on my balcony that night, looking out over a city that had once witnessed my deepest humiliation, I raised a glass. The scars of betrayal no longer defined me. Instead, they marked the threshold of renewal. Some stories begin with pain, only to rise beyond it, stronger, wiser, and infinitely more alive. Survival isn't the end. It's the beginning.